It's Sarah again with a gentle yoga class tonight to help you build strength, flexibility, and balance. So tonight we're going to start in the seated position. In your seat, if you feel a little tight in your hips or in the hamstrings, you can take a pillow under your seat or a rolled up towel or a blanket to help elevate your hips. And then we're just going to nice long inhale through the nostrils and a slow exhale out of the nostrils as well. If you're not comfortable in a cross-leg position, just find a seat that is relaxing and calming for you. So this is our time to begin to quiet our minds, to settle in with the breath, to turn off our focus just to the mat, to the movement, and letting distractions just float away with the exhales. About what might be coming next, the moment, or what we just did. Let's try to focus on each moment, each breath, and really be present. Let's try to create a little extra length through the spine now. Sitting up as tall as you can. Feeling the sides of the waist drawing towards the center line of our bodies, and then also we want to feel the front of the belly or the navel anchoring in towards your spine. Let's feel our breath starting low, almost in the pelvis, gradually making its way up into the rib cage and into the chest. Let's feel a nice expansion. Just imagine a balloon filling up, equal in all directions. And then let your exhale really trickle out slowly, slowly as you can. And if you like, you can just take a slight pause at the end of your breath. Exhale, just a moment of stillness, just calming the body, quieting the mind, and being in this moment. So let's take a few more inhales and exhales like this. You can keep your eyes open with a soft, relaxed gaze, or you can keep your eyes closed. Just feel the shoulder blades working down the back, gently pulling to the center line, but not too rigid here. We want to stay relaxed. Let's try to lengthen through the sides of the neck, softening the tops of your shoulders away from your head. And then feeling the crown of your head lifting lightly towards. And finally, let's really try to release through the face. I'm going to smooth out the forehead. Take any tension away from the eyebrows, in between the eyes, around the temples, even letting the scalp soften. In your tongue, and let's relax the jaw. And you could slightly part your lips here, just so we don't bring tension into the face. I have a tendency to clench my jaw, not even so much when I'm stressed. It's just something that I've always battled with, so I have to really consciously relax and release through. We're going to get moving here. Staying in a seated position just for some nice gentle side bends, maybe a couple of twists. As we're warming up, we want to keep in mind that we don't want to push too far in any of these poses. Our muscles aren't thoroughly warmed up yet, so we really want to take it easy with these and just more focus on the breath. Letting the breath gently take you into, let the exhale float you back to center. And take your own liberties with these. If something feels maybe unnatural to you and you like something better, feel free to move so that you're comfortable at your own pace, in your own zone. Okay, so first we're just going to gently lift the shoulders up towards the ears, and then we're going to round them back around. And keep your hands on your knees, or let your shrugging the shoulders straight up to the earlobes, and then rounding them back, feeling the shoulder blades working. Circular motion. Just gently opening the front of the chest here too as we bring those shoulder blades down, around, and back. Easy side bend here. Down by your side. So on an inhale, we're just going to take the left arm straight up and exhale back down. Inhaling your right arm up and exhale down. Just keep this really soft and flowing with the breath. Trying to keep tension out of the arm and shoulder. Just kind of let it float up and down for now. On dynamic tension and body weight resistance. But for right now, we're keeping this really relaxed, really soft. Trying to keep tension out of the body. And I have a sore shoulder, so I'm going to take it easy with my right shoulder. There are some things I might skip tonight and just try to cue you the best that I can. I'm not sure what I did. I think I might have slept wrong on it. Let's do a couple more. We're going to do a couple more with just this nice, easy vertical reach, and then we're going to add just a little bit more of a side bend. With these side bends, we do want to keep the sit bones really firm into your pillow or your mat. Oh, nope, there it is. Okay, so now for just a little extra side bend, and we're going to hold this for a few breaths. So let's inhale, take the left arm up, plug the fingertips into the ceiling now with a little more tension, and then we're just going to shift to the right side. You can take your right arm out a little bit further, expanding through the left rib cage, the left side, beside your ear, just letting that big inhale into your back here, into the back of the rib cage, and exhale, let it float back down. Okay, let's inhale the right arm up, plug those fingertips in, take it over a little bit more, maybe slide the left hand out to the side. You can turn your gaze up, down at that left hand if you like, or if that's not keeping grounded through the sit bones. Taking a nice long inhale here. Good. Back to center. Both arms down for now, and then we're just going to inhale, arms up. Again, keep this easy and soft. Exhaling, just let the palms float down towards the insides of that inhale. Continue with a few more. And exhale. Full inhalation. Slow exhale. Don't feel like you have to keep in sync with my breath. Mine's always going to be a little funky because I do a lot of talking. So find your own rhythm. Last one. Good. Now we're just going to take our arms out at shoulder height, opening the palms up to the ceiling, and really reaching nice and long, left and right. Almost want to turn the little fingers up towards the ceiling, thumbs toward the back wall. Keep the hands relaxed. Going to be feeling this through the triceps and maybe a little bit in the traps, especially if you're really rotating through the shoulder. One more breath. Good. Exhale, releasing hands down. And then I'm going to take my pillow away. We're going to take our legs to kind of a staggered square here. The legs to 90-degree angles. Take my right leg back. So the outside of my left knee is towards the mat, and the inside of my right knee is towards the mat. It's kind of like a modified pigeon. And then we're just going to take the left hand to the outside of that left hip. And we're going to inhale and sweep the right arm across and at a diagonal over that left knee. Inhale, open. Gentle twist. Try to stay out of that left shoulder if you can. Really light through the upper body. Keeping a firm base through the seat. Inhale, open, expand. Exhale, sweeping it forward. Keeping these twists really gentle. Never forcing your body into a twist. Let the breath take you there gently. Think about that breath hint. I'm going to keep everything really smooth. In order to do that, we really have to breathe. Inhale, open. This will be our last one on this side. Exhale, sweep it forward. Let's hold this stretch. You can shift forward a little bit here if you like. Taking the right cheek up off the mat and really grounding into that left outer hip. Feeling maybe a little bit of a stretch in the outside of that left hip joint, possibly a little bit into your glutes. Exhale, releasing, and let's just swap the legs. We're going to take the right leg forward, left leg back. I just committed the cardinal sin. I left my phone on ring instead of turning it to silent, so sorry about that. Okay, so now we're taking 6 or 8 inches down, and then we're going to sweep the left arm forward and around. That's going to be our exhale. Let's inhale, open it up, staying out of the right shoulder. Try not to really sink in there. Still feeling the crown of your head floating to the ceiling. Exhale, gentle twist. Inhale to expand. I have no idea how many I did on the other side, so we're just going to wing it. Inhale, open. Exhale, gentle twist. Let's do 2 more. That sounds about right. Last one. Good. And we're going to come onto our mat lengthwise, taking the legs forward, sitting up nice and tall in staff pose. Let's flex our feet so that our toes are pulling towards the chest and our heels are really pressing into the mat and away from you. And then we want to sit up as tall as we can. Engage. And we're just going to take some nice inhales and exhales here before we keep moving. Going to do another warm up in a seated position. This is going to begin engaging through the core by doing some reclining, working those muscles in this position. So we want to be careful with the lower back in this flow. If at any time you feel that your back is rounding a little bit more than we like, it's not going to be perfectly straight because your spine isn't perfectly straight, but we want to try to avoid collapsing in the low back and rolling the shoulders forward. So if you're not able in this, maybe keep the movements a little shorter. Upright position. So let's take our arms forward at shoulder height and just bring the palms facing each other. And then we're going to inhale and open the chest, bringing the backs of our hands together, sitting up nice and tall still. On our exhale, we're going to simultaneously bring the hands back together and forward as we lean back. So we're engaging the center of the body. Exhale, leaning back again. Just going to take this at your own pace with your own breath rhythm. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Coming down as low as you are ready for tonight. Might just be a few inches. You might even be able to roll almost all the way down to the mat. Again, take care of that back. We want to work the core, not overwork. As we expand on that inhale, let's try to drop the shoulder blades towards the tail, keeping the tops of our shoulders away from the ears. And again, thinking about the crown of the head, lifting up towards the ceiling. We're going to do 2 more. And I just want to double check and make sure everything is good with the computer here. So I'll be right back. Can't see that far. Alright, moving on. We're going to come down onto the mat a little further, so we're going to come onto our forearms and elbows. We're going to start by just alternating with some bicycling movements, drawing the knees straight towards your chest, and then straightening the leg back out. Again, if we can keep the feet flexed rather than pointed, that will engage more muscles in your legs. And then let's be aware of the torso and try to lift the sternum and the heart, the shoulders, straight up towards the ceiling. Hi, Tuck. Hey. Thanks. I forgot to put the baby gate up. Oops. Oh, here comes another one. Okay, so we're going to take a really short break, and then we're going to change that a little bit. So let's just take the feet down onto the mat. Lift the chest up, just a real slight back bend here. So just slightly arching the back. Okay, so now we're going to go for some really big, exaggerated bicycling motions. So again, we want to flex our feet. And the lower your legs come on this one, the more challenging it will be. So you can keep your legs higher for less work and lower for more work. So we're just going to start with these really exaggerated, big bicycling movements. Flexing the feet, pressing the chest and the shoulders, feeling light in the upper body. Don't forget to breathe. Sometimes when we get pretty intense in some of these exercises, our tendency is to hold our breath and start clenching the jaw again. So let's take deep inhales and exhales here. Couple more. I'm going to do some really easy rocking on the low back. So let's take the left leg and extend it. Bring the right knee in towards your chest and just take your hands, interlace your fingers behind your thigh. And we're just going to kind of start kicking and get some momentum going here. Keeping the back rounded. Good, let's pause and we'll switch legs. Same thing. It's not exactly a massage, but it feels pretty good. This is going to be our last one, and we're going to rock up to seated and come onto all fours. On our knees under our hips. So let's coming into cat stretch flow. On an inhale, we're going to lengthen our spine, turning the sternum forward and the tail up slightly, keeping the belly strong. Then we'll exhale to cat stretch, rounding the back, pressing into the hands, widening through the upper back, and dropping the tail. So inhale to extend. Exhale, stretch up to cat. Working with your long inhale and exhale. We can keep a slight bend in the elbows here. I hope you can hear yourself breathing. Try to really let go on that exhale, making a slight hissing or signs. One more. Okay, so now we're going to keep our arms down. Again, we want the wrists pretty much straight under the shoulders. And on an inhale, we're going to take the right leg and send it straight back, flexing the toe. Stretch and draw the knee towards your face. Inhale, take it back. Exhale. Crunching, keeping everything really close. Not too much arch in the back on that inhale. You can take a slight scoop there, but we want to support that with a strong belly. Try not to compress in that area. Lift out of the shoulder. If we keep the core engaged, it'll take some of the weight out of the hands, out of the shoulders. Let's do 2 more on this side. Last one. Let's go right on to the other leg. We're inhaling the left leg back this time. Body, exhale, draw the knee forward, all the way from the hip bones up into your ribs. A lot of our stability and any balance is coming from the strength of our core. It's really important as we age to keep those muscles strong to help with balance. I'm kind of a clumsy person by nature, so any help I can get in improving my balance is something I like to devote some attention to. Let's work 2 more in here. Big inhale, flexing the foot, pressing that heel away. Last one. Good. Let's take child's pose or puppy pose. Whatever variation you choose, we can be on the floor. Sit down in the back of the feet and either let the arms rest forward or back. Sometimes in child's pose I like to shift my hips off to one side. Get a little stretch on the outside, gentle stretch on the outside of those hip joints. So you can try that. Okay, so we're going to take our arms all the way out as far as we can reach on the mat. Take the middle finger and try to line it up with that divot in your shoulder, the shoulder joint. So our hands are pretty much shoulder bone width apart first. Preparing for down dog, taking the feet to the mat. And then we're going to lift the tail and just gently float the chest towards the knees. And since this is our first down dog, let's keep our knees gently bent here. So we're taking tension out of the low back, turning the tail up, keeping the knees bent. And then on an inhale, exhale, let's sink in. A couple more like that. You can take your legs a little more straight each time. Or keep the knees bent. Lots of choices. Always make it your practice. Don't follow. You have to exactly what's ever shown to you, no matter what you're watching or if you're in a live class. We need to listen to our bodies. Pay attention to the signals. Remarkably, my shoulder is pain-free right now. So I'm pretty excited about that. We'll see what happens as we continue on here. Or if you need to take a break, go ahead and lower back into child's pose. We want to try to widen our wingspan here, the back of the mid-back, the shoulder blade area. Just kind of try to flare out in that area, driving the chest gently towards the knees. Letting the head soften and relax between your arms. And just looking through the ankles. Back of your mat. And then bringing the front of the leg bones. And don't worry too much if your heels aren't touching the mat. Doesn't really matter if they're touching, but we do want to take the heels in that direction. So we want to be actively pressing through the foot, trying to sink the heels in. Let's take one more breath here to either a high plank position, and then we're going to exhale, or we can lower the knees here for a low plank, or kneeling plank. Let's take a big inhale here, bring the tops of our feet to the mat if we've got the knees down. And on your exhale, we're going to shift forward, keeping the elbows really close and pointing towards the back of the mat, lowering all the way down to belly and hips, and then we'll just lift gently over the chest. Just barely release the head,
We're reversing. We're going to press back to child's pose. Big inhale. And exhaling back up to your downward facing dog. Inhale, coming to plank. Exhale, lowering, chaturanga. Drop the shoulder blades down the back, lifting to cobra. Releasing down on the exhale. Coming back to your child's pose. Let's do that one more time. Anytime we're moving from cobra or upward facing dog back to down dog, we really want to focus that first burst of energy in the center of the body through the core. So rather than we want to lift from the front of the body first. That's where our power is coming from. So let's take downward facing dog again. Big inhale here. Exhaling to plank or knee plank. Inhale, lowering to crocodile or kneeling crocodile. Followed by the knees off the mat, the thighs off the mat, lifting the heart forward and slightly up. And then with the strength of your belly, let's press back to down dog. Good, now we're just going to walk the feet forward, so go ahead and bend the knees. Coming into a forward bend. Move through just a few repetitions of chair flow here. So this is going to be our exhaling position. On your inhale, let's bend the knees, lower the seat, and take the arms forward to chair. Exhale, back forward to your forward bend. Inhale, sweep it back up. Taking care of the knees by making sure we really scoot the seat back in this squat. Keeping the knees from passing over the toes. This doesn't have to be a really deep squat. You can come almost all the way back up to standing on this inhale. Just a lot of work, bending the knees, especially in the lower back, the erector muscles in this chair squat. Okay, the next one we're going to come up and hold that chair for a couple of breaths. So let's pull the belly in, keeping the chest lifting forward. And then again, we're going to the outside edges of the room. Turn palms kind of facing the ceiling or as close as you can get. And then sitting down a little deeper in your chair if you can. Big inhale. Exhale all the way out. Next inhale, we're going to take it back to standing. So inhale all the way up. Taking it to mountain pose, Tadasana. We're going to bring our palms to our heart just briefly. Check in with your body here. Pay attention to what's going on. Keeping the lines of communication open between your body and your mind. Take one more. And exhale, releasing the arms. We're going to move on to Warrior 2, and we're going to add some movement to this. So let's start with our left leg forward. Take a big step back with your right leg. Keeping in mind, the wider your stance, the more work this is going to be, the more challenged you're going to be, both with your endurance, your strength, and also your balance. So depending on how you're going to bend the left knee. Narrower stance tonight. So if you can take a look down at your feet, ideally the heels will be pretty close to in the same plane. The left toe is pointed straight to the front of your mat, and then the right toe is angled out towards the side of the mat. We're taking left arm forward, right arm back. Trying to stack those shoulders right above the hips. Add some movement to this. Working with the breath. On an inhale, let's flip the palms up. Take the left leg almost straight and plug those fingertips into the ceiling. Exhale, turn the palms back down, float the hands. Come back to Warrior 2. And we're just going to go at your own pace. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Let's check in with the center of the body, making sure we still have that navel anchored in towards the back. When we get arms and legs moving, sometimes we forget to keep that core engaged. So let's Return our attention to that area of your body right now. And then just floating in and out of Warrior Two using your breath. This is going to be our last one. We're going to hold Warrior Two for just a breath or two. Just gazing out over your left fingertips. Letting the edges blur slightly. Soften. And then moving on to angle pose. I'll show you several different variations for this one. The first is just to cartwheel that left arm down, gently resting the forearm on the thigh without really hanging out there, without putting too much weight into the left thigh. The right arm's going to reach up towards the ceiling and try to open towards me. The inside, so you want to try to keep the front of the shoulder open, palm open to me, and then actively lifting that left side waist away from your left thigh. Really grounding through the right heel. Feeling the weight in both the front and the back legs, so kind of half and half. Okay, so that's completely out of that left arm here by dropping the fingertips toward the mat. They don't have to touch. So almost gently pressing the elbow towards the left thigh. Third variation, we can take that bottom arm and lift it up to about shoulder height with our palm open to the ceiling. That changes things quite a bit. Into angle, we can take the left hand down onto the floor or onto a block, either in front or behind your foot, and continue to drop that right arm and reach it actively over your head, sort of bicep by the temple. So let's find your version of angle tonight, whatever that is. We're going to be here for 2 more breaths. Good. Exhaling back to Warrior Two. Short break. We're going to release the arms and let that left leg relax. Take the bend out of the left knee. Might feel good here to just kind of swing the arms a little bit. We're going to move on to, so we're going to inhale and take both arms over our head. Keeping just a slight bend in that forward knee, the left knee. And if you can't see how this is, my hips are open to the long end of the mat. So we're trying to open the pelvis toward the long end of the mat. So we're taking our arms overhead, slight bend in that left knee, towards the back of your mat. And we're just going to really slight back bend here. We want to try to avoid compressing through that lower right side and lower right back. Think about lifting out of the lower body. Again, that right heel is firmly grounded into the mat. Still got some of your weight in that front leg. 1 more breath. And exhaling, arms back to shoulder height. Palms turned to the floor. Just a slight bend in the left knee still. And then let's shift the right hip back just a few inches, and we're going to reach forward with the left hand. And then bring that left hand down to anywhere above or below your knee. You can also take your hand to a block. If you find yourself folding like this so that your right side is unable to open fully, come out of it just enough so we can spin the chest open to the front of the mat, the side of the mat, towards me. Front of the shoulder and palm facing me. Hips open. Feeling a light shining a beam across the room. Big inhale. Good. Exhale, bending the left knee. And then we're going to lift the right heel. Rotate so that the hips are pointing straight down to the mat. And we're going to take the hands down. Stepping back to downward facing dog. Exhale, rolling forward to plank. Inhale, lowering chaturanga. Exhaling, cobra or up dog. And take your inhale back to down dog. Bending the knees again, we're going to walk the feet forward. Rolling up slow. And I'm actually going to stay facing this way to do the other side so you can see. So we started in Warrior Two. So this time I'm taking the right foot forward. Big step back with the left leg. Again, the right toe is pointing straight to the front of the mat. Left foot is angled somewhat. We've got all parts of both feet really grounded into the mat, and we're taking right arm forward, left arm back. Gentle gaze over the right fingertips. For more work, we'll widen our stance and deepen the lunge in that right knee. For a gentler practice, we'll keep the legs a little closer together and keep the lunge a little smaller. We're going to move here with the breath again. Inhale, float the palms almost all the way. Lift. Exhale, sinking back in. Palms float back down towards the floor. Inhale, taking it back up. Exhale, sinking in. Warrior Two. This pose is great for building strength, mental focus, balance. It's also a nice stretch for that left leg through the top of the quadricep and even into the hip flexor. Let's bring an awareness back into any tension we might have in the face, the forehead, the jaw, the mouth. Release on the exhale. It's going to come back, that's normal. Acknowledge that tension or any distraction that you find creeping back in. Acknowledge it and then send it on its way. Let's do one more. And exhaling back down. Warrior Two. Right knee. Preparing for angle pose. We're going to keep and we're lowering the right arm to your version of angle, whatever it may be tonight. Rounded through the left heel. We're taking one more breath. Good. Coming back to Warrior Two. Let's take a little break again, softening the arms. Bringing the right leg almost straight. Just a slight bend in the right knee. Preparing for extended. Keep just a micro bend in the right knee. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, we're lifting. Then opening the right side. Keeping the left side also lifting and light. One more breath. Full inhale all the way to the back. Exhaling, let's take our arms back to shoulder height. Shifting the left hip back as we reach forward with the right arm. And then we'll take that right arm down anywhere above or below your knee so that you can fully the palm open, the chest open to the front of the... Nice down dog, Mom. Can you go lay down, please? Go lay down. Oh, you're going to lay right there? Let's take one more big breath here. Now, we're going to kind of rotate on that back foot, shifting so that the hip bones are pointing straight down. Take the hands down, stepping back for downward facing dog again. And pedal the feet. Molly, you have to move, honey. Go on. Go lay down in your bed. Go on. Go lay down in your bed. Go. Okay, so when you're in down dog, feel free to pedal your feet, or if you want to lift one leg and maybe circle the hip a few times, that's great too. sending those inhales to any areas that are still feeling a little tight, a little resistant. Feel that area expand. Take the breath there. Create a little extra space. And then try to move in on that exhale. Move into that openness, that extra length you've created. And then we'll take it down to child's pose, resting. These opportunities to rest. Really. One more breath here. And we're going to come up onto knees briefly so that we can take the right foot forward. And then let's adjust that left knee back a few more inches. Bringing the top of the left foot on the mat. And then let's keep lifting out of that left hip. Try not to sink in too deeply into this one just yet. Pressing into the right foot, creating a nice long line with the spine. And then let's inhale our arms overhead. Exhale, palms in front of the heart, and we're going to twist, taking the left elbow across towards the outside of the left knee. And then we want to press into the hands to help open the chest here. Again, push too hard with these twists. And I see I've got my foot just a little too far forward here. I'm going to make a quick adjustment. Take my ankle right under my knee. So just spiraling through the upper body, all the way from the tail out through the top of your head. Just thinking about a really slow, easy, gentle corkscrew. One more breath here. Good. Let's release the twist, and we're going to take our left hand down beside the right foot. And now open up the right arm, palm towards me, shoulder towards me, fingertips up to the ceiling. And then we can either stay here with that left knee down and just enjoy this. Extend the left leg straight. Ball of the foot. That's an option. One more variation is to drop a little bit onto the outside edge of that left foot, even to the top of the left foot. Come to the outside edge of the right foot. Continue to open through the torso. Lifting out of that left shoulder. One more. Good. Let's come back to center. Take the right leg back, bringing the left foot forward. Left knee right over the ankle, and we're going to send the right knee back just a few inches. Coming into low. Again, not sinking too deeply into that right hip flexor just yet. We want to press into the left foot, gently placing the hands on the left thigh, and lifting the top of the head towards the ceiling. Now inhaling, both arms up. Exhale, right elbow, and we're going to rotate towards the outside of the left thigh, pressing the hands together. Gentle spiral in the spine. Keeping a lot of length in the body here. One. And let's release on the exhale. We're going to take the right hand down. Opening up the left side this time. Left fingertips draw up towards the ceiling. Open the front of the shoulder. Spin the chest. And again, we can add on those little variations only if you want to. You can stay right here if you like. Come up with the straight right leg. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, coming back. Let's take the left leg back, and we're going to come right to child's pose again. Again, if you want to shift off to one side. Widen the knees here. Sometimes that feels good. And sink down to the center. Okay, we're going to do just a little core work. So let's come back to our seat. And then we're going to lower down again with the upper body. For now, just keeping the feet on the mat and our knees bent. I'm going to check something again. Oh, I hope we're okay. I think we are. Yeah, okay. Alright, we're taking the upper body all the way down. And we're going to bring our legs to 90 degrees. So for now, let's keep the left leg just like this. So we've got the shin bone parallel to, and the left thigh perpendicular to the floor. And then we're going to send the right leg straight. So for more work, we would keep the leg a little lower. But we want to make sure we keep the lower back safe. Keep it from lifting off the mat. Obviously, there is a slight curvature in that area, but we want to try to engage down, pull the belly into the back, and work the back towards the floor. We're going to take the hands gently behind the head without pulling on the neck, keeping elbows open. And if you want to lift the shoulder blades up off the mat, you can, or you can just hold here. And we're simply just going to lift and lower the straight leg. Trying to keep the left leg at 90 degrees. Flexing both feet. Okay, same thing, other leg. We'll take the right leg to that bent position. Take the left leg out, lifting and lowering. Two more. And we're going to take a little break here, so let's bring them towards your chest. Take the hands behind the thighs, and if you want to do a few rocks from side to side, or maybe circle the knees a little bit. The legs both straight this time. And we're going to stagger them at an angle. And again, if you want to take the hands behind the head and lift the shoulder blades up, or we can stay down here, whatever feels good. So we're going to keep the left leg up here as high as we can, and once again begin to lift and lower the right leg. Two more. Last one. Switch sides. Last two. Last one. And again, release knees down towards the chest and do some circling if that feels good. And then let's take the feet to the mat and take the feet a little wider, so maybe towards the outside edge or even beyond the mat. And we're just going to lower one knee towards the center as you let the other knee float to the outside. So we're just kind of gently twisting through the pelvis, through the hips. Nice and easy here. For abdominals, the hip flexors. Feel a little stretch. Okay, good. Let's take our feet back to the mat about hip bone width apart. And we're going to lift the knees back up to 90 degrees, or the legs up to 90 degrees. And this time we're just going to press on our thighs with our hands, moving into the hands. And reverse press with our legs. So this is just an isometric abdominal exercise. It's kind of a reverse crunch through the lower abdominals. Feel that low back working towards the floor. Pressing into the hands. One more breath. Good. Releasing the feet back down. Let's take the web of our hand and just take it to the crease in your hip. And we're going to straighten the arms and just press into the top of the thighs. We're going to feel a shift and a lengthening in the lower back. Try to keep a straight line. Neutral. Knees pointing straight up. One more breath. Good. Release. Let's take the bottoms of our feet together now. Moving on to reclined butterfly. We're just going to let the outsides of the knees and the outsides of our thighs float down towards the floor. Feeling a softening through the lower body, through the pelvis. Feeling the front of the belly just melting into the back. Let's take our hands on our belly and make a little triangle. Place that right over your navel. And then let's consciously inhale right to that spot. Exhale, releasing. Letting the belly sink into the floor. Inhale, expand right to that area. Exhale, let it go. Let's do two more. Inhale, fill it up. Exhale, release. Last one. And exhale. Take the knees back together. Crossing our left ankle over our right knee. Just a real gentle opening here. Press the left hand against the left knee. And we'll switch sides. And then let's find a comfy, relaxing, peaceful position, whether that is on your side, on your back, with legs extended, or on your back with your knees bent, whatever feels good tonight. If we've got our legs extended, let's lift and shift the shoulder blades back into neutral alignment. Trying to bring our... Let's take the feet just a little wider than our hips. Letting the insides of our feet gently open upward. Feeling our heels sinking in. The back of our lower leg melting into the mat. Feel the knees soften. Maybe give it just a gentle flex through the quads before releasing. Feeling the front of our thighs melting into the back. The backs of our thighs softening into. Feeling the belly just gently floating up and down with a natural breath. Continuing to feel and acknowledge every area, every inch, and softening not just from bottom to top, but layer by layer, from the front of your body all the way through the center into your back. Just feel that wave moving in every direction. Feeling your chest gentle and light here. We want to release the throat. Letting the scalp soften and relax. The stillness, calmness. Not just physically, but also in our heart and in our thoughts. Feeling tension float away with every exhale. Every inhale brings us renewed energy, strength, and positive outlook. Every exhale sends away our distractions, our frustrations, our insecurities. Just let them go. Ideally, we would be here for a much longer period of time. But for tonight, we're going to go ahead and bring our feet slowly back to the mat, bending your knees one at a time. Let's take some small twists again. Just gently rocking. Arms up over our head. Maybe interlace the fingers. Send the palms toward the top of your mat. And then let's take our knee into the hands. Doesn't matter which knee, we're just going to begin that rocking motion again. Build up a little momentum so that we can come back to seated. To our seated position, whatever's comfortable for you. Taking our back nice and long again. Hopefully we're feeling a little more relaxed, a little more quiet. Molly's feeling good. Thank you for joining us, Molly. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this. Will be available for 30 days from today, so take advantage of that. If you have any suggestions for other types of classes, please feel free to send those my way. And I would be happy to try to work on those. Enjoy the rest of your week and weekend. Namaste. Hi. Are you so happy about it? Are you so happy about it? Okay.